Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cycle, and this is Let's Play Train Simulator. We're going to do another service bound for reading today. A bitter morning in October for commuters. Take charge of a Class 166 DMU as it weaves through traffic bound for reading. And it's convenient that it's just designed to be used in expert control mode, isn't it? Let's go ahead and do it. It's a wet morning. Where's the apostrophe? It's a wet morning here in Oxford, but let's get cracking. Check the junctions for your route into Platform 1 and make your way into the station. So we said check the junctions. That means that something is wrong with our junctions, isn't it? No, our junctions are okay for getting onto the track, it looks like. This is all set, so nothing to worry about here. And we're going to make our way into the station, and that's exactly what we're doing. So into Oxford 1 we go. Let's go. Oh, reverser up might help. And looking at this, we don't have a timetable, so, you know, this is just another, can be casual drive down, and, we have fewer stops this time. This is supposed to be a longer journey than the previous one by a little bit, but we actually are going to have fewer stops, so this is actually going to be a quicker journey, I believe. What I'm wondering is if we're going to have red signals along the way. There could be some signals stopping us from getting to our destination as quickly as we ought to. That is my suspicion. There may be some signals. Hello. That's a rail freight stone. Excellent. So the signal is green for us to move on to the main line. We are now going to do that. As the rail freight stone finds its way through the platform 2, we're going to pull into platform 1. Actually, it didn't even use platform 2, it used a through track. This station has a through track, so the rail freight just stayed on the through track. Excellent. So I have a 50% brake application right now. I'm going to increase that as the train fully gets in the platform. Slightly longer train today. And there's a red at the end of our platform, which is a good way to start out a mission with a red signal. So because of that, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to get up closer to the signal so I can see what it is we're working with. Excuse me. Now I'm going to come to a stop. Ooh, something in my throat. Going to come to a stop at the building here. We have a yellow now, but we can't go yet. We have to stop. And we're going to go ahead and stop now. And we're going to get ready to start our service. So first passengers are now boarding. You're spelled wrong. All set for the journey. There's a stone train running ahead of you in Didcot, and track crews are working on a few AWS ramps, so be vigilant about watching those yellow signals. Depart when you're ready, spelled wrong again, but don't exceed 25 over this first crossover. Roger. So we have a double yellow. We cannot exceed 25, so says the boss. Double yellow means that 2 signals ahead of us is a red signal. And we're going to have to be a little more careful watching those signals than we were on the first journey. So we're going to do that. Now this is the reason I don't like the train having a not having an idle setting. You're either going to gain speed or you're going to lose speed. I don't like that. I can't understand why you can't put the train into 0. I really don't. Notice that you literally can't put the train into 0. It's either 10 or minus 10. You can go 90 now, however, so we're going to go ahead and get up to speed. But we are working under a double yellow aspect, so I am going to go ahead and just... we can go ahead and speed up for right now. We can still slow down in time if it's a single yellow aspect, so I'm not too worried right now. The next signal will tell us what we can do on the first part of our journey here. So I'm going to cut off the increase for right now. Let's see, get a better look at what the signal ahead says. Is that a green signal? We got a ding, so that's a green signal. Let's speed up. I love how that sign has access to every one of those tracks. Whatever track needs to go on, it can go on. These two signals are close together, so if there's a double yellow on the first signal, we're going to have a very quick single yellow following it. So we're going to have to be ready to hit the brakes for a red right after that if that's the case. We'll keep that in mind. You can see what would be the red signal up ahead, 1.6 miles ahead. We are green, however, you can hear that, even though we can't see it yet. And now we can see that a little more clearly. The quality of the lights on the signals in this first map aren't the best. You can't really tell until you're onto the signal what the aspect actually is saying, which is unfortunate. So you're going to find that it's helpful to zoom in and take a look. You can see the green aspect there. And you also heard again the ding. So we know that we are still green. For the time being, we are in good shape. Our first stop is Didcot Parkway, so we're going to skip the first station we stopped at last time out. There's one of the diverging tracks over there. And you don't really get to see where it goes. There it goes. Over there. Okay. Green signals continue. We have a yellow. Oh, it just turned green as we got to it. I had to ease off of our throttle anyway because we were at 85, so we were getting close to 90. Because we had it beep, that means we're catching up to this freight train, so I'm not going to increase speed any right now. I'm going to actually leave a -10, which is the closest we can get to idling the throttle. So we're going to stay yellow this time? Looks like we are. That is a single yellow aspect, by the way. We need to screech to a halt now. We did not get a warning for a double yellow. I was expecting a double yellow there. Thank you for riding aboard First Great Western. Be prepared to lose your lunch along our journey today. No extra charge. You're welcome. So stopping on sight is important right now, and that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to stop on sight if we see a red. But as we zoom ahead and look closer, take a closer look, we can see nothing. You see nothing. So some kind of adverse aspect. Looks like it is a yellow, so we can proceed. Unless the signal jumps to green and before we pass it, we have to assume that we're not going to be able to go too much faster. Oh, it went to green. We can speed up again. Beautiful. Beautiful. This tells me that 90 is not the optimum traveling speed today. We are going to have to kind of work our way around and figure out what speed we should be traveling at. So this will be a little bit of a challenge for this journey. We're still under green, so we can still speed up for right now. But if I get another beep anywhere, even if it does upgrade to a green signal by the time we pass, I am going to slow down my speed. And I think that's going to be what we have to work on as our speed until we see that either this train's out of our way or until we have to make a stop and gain time again anyway. But Didcot Parkway should be coming up in 2.5 miles. We're going to need to slow down anyway, even if there is a red signal. Or even if there's not a red signal, I meant to say. Looks like there is a yellow signal. Now we have a 40 coming up anyway, so I'm slowing down anyway. I really don't care. So this just enforces the fact that we're going to have to slow down for the next signal. But the signal is before the 40, so that is something else to keep in mind. The signal is before the speed restriction. I remember last time we had to pull up to this, and then it changed as we approached. So this might be one of those special approach circumstances, where you have to get down to a certain speed, and then the signal will change for you. But we can't assume it's going to change. There's several signals in close proximity here. We're down to 40 right now, so I think we have a yellow, so I'm going to go ahead and idle the throttle for a moment. No, we have a red, sorry. We have a red. Never mind. Keeping an eye on the signal ahead. I'm going to zoom in for your convenience. It just turned green. So yeah, that was one of those cases again where it was being, I guess the other train must have gone down the line straight ahead, which we're going to be diverging away from, and we're going to be moved down the other track. So that's why it just jumped to a green like that instead of a yellow. We'll stay at 30. There's no reason to punch up to 40. Getting a warning on something. We get a green signal. Not sure what we were being warned about. Is the 25 coming up here? Is that what it is? Must be a 25 speed restriction somewhere. Unlike last time, it's not marked on the HUD. That's the only reason I know about it, because I saw it last time. I don't see it this time. So I'm not sure what we're being warned about. But there is the 25. That must be what it is. Sure enough, we are under that 25. Knowing the track helps, ladies and gentlemen. believe that was a yellow signal we're being warned about. That means there's a red at the end of the platform. Since we're only going 25, we're not going to have a problem stopping in the platform anyway. So once we actually enter the platform, I'll go ahead and I'll apply a fairly sizable brake application. Actually, I'll start doing it now. Warning, there's restricted speed approaching Didcot, so watch your speed over the next junction. Alright. You heard me punching my headset there. Whoops. That noise you heard was me punching my headset. Please do not be alarmed. It is normal to punch your headset. So we're going to go ahead and stop at the station now. I've eased off on the brakes a little bit. We're going to go ahead and just pull up a wee bit. And now we're going to stop at Didcot Parkway. Arrival now. Before you can proceed, we've received word that the switch motor on the junction head is malfunctioning. Use the map to check your route is set ahead. Interesting. So where are we? We are back here. The route does not appear to be fully set ahead. Yeah, it is not fully set. I'm not sure what we're supposed to do here. We're supposed to just wait, I guess. So I'm going to just inch forward towards the signal a little bit. We are going to still be in the platform. Nothing wrong with what we're doing here. I'm just going to go to the end of the green section. I'm going to stop there. We're going to wait here. So yeah, we have to assume that we cannot go because the signal ahead, the switch is not set ahead for us. We're kind of left with no option here. I mean, this is all fine and dandy here. This is all fine and dandy here, but this does not involve our train. Now here is the rail freight tanks that is coming along. I have a feeling what's going to... Oh, that train is taking that particular section right now. So that is what we're going to be waiting for right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at him going by right there. That is what we're waiting for. So we have to wait. Once he goes by and it's clear, we're going to probably get a yellow aspect. We can then go ahead and proceed at a caution situation. Or are we? The switch has still not changed over for our track, which is interesting. I'm going to try to request a pass. We are denied. So all we can do is wait. I'm going to try to skip ahead for you to that point because this is going to be boring if we don't. I was just setting up a spot for you to watch in style. The signal will change, and the signal has just changed. So I didn't even have time to finish setting that up. We are good to proceed. If we look at the path now, you can see that the switch has indeed changed to allow us onto that track, as I suspected. So they fixed the track. We are able to proceed now down that track. But we are proceeding at a cautionary aspect, so we are going to be waiting until we can see the next signal to know exactly what we're supposed to do. So I'm going to minimize the speed we take in the meantime. So we have now merged safely onto the track. I'm going to ease off of our throttle for right now. There's no reason to increase too much because of the cautionary aspect. We're probably going faster than the freight train anyway, so we might even be catching up to it already, which would be unfortunate. If we look in the distance, we can't really see it up there. But if we look on the map and see where we are on the map, you can see this train. There's a different train coming in this direction, but the train we were following is up here. There's the rail freight tanks. And if we look at my train, I'm actually going slower. That's actually good for me. So once we see the next signal, we can open it up. I don't get why they put signals around curves. I really don't. Oh, let's see what the train that is. No, we're not going to see. Never mind. That's the first Great Western. That much I know. So we're 4/10 of a mile from our next signal. We're being moved out onto the proper track at this point. So because the switch was broken for our track, we had to wait for the rail freight tanks, and that's why we ended up over on the far track. We're now being moved over to the correct track. So the signal on that track was red. We are now under a yellow aspect on our track. So we can go ahead and we can, with a double yellow, I'm going to go ahead and open up the throttle at this point because we have a double yellow aspect. But we're being diverged again. So lots of diverging going on today. We're now on a 125 track, which doesn't seem like a speed we can go. We're diverging onto another 70 track. And over again, right where we were. So, you notice that red signal that was all the way back there? We just went around it. I guess that was the broken switch. That must have been the broken switch. We're now clear to go 100 miles per hour. Let's go. So I'm going to ease off the throttle for a moment because I noticed that we did have a double yellow. We need to keep an eye on the signals ahead and see what our next direction will be. We're green, so we can go ahead and keep opening it up. Our next stop, by the way, is Cholsey in about 2 miles. Pardon me. That looks like a freight train. I'm sure we're going to get to drive one of those sooner or later on this train, on this track. Freight leaves London all the time. Goes in different directions. There's Cholsey, actually. We need to start slowing down now. I almost didn't react to that, so thankfully I noticed that in time. We are going to go ahead and start slowing down for Cholsey. We are green and clear, but we do have to stop, because it is our stop. I'm coming down a little slower than I expected to be at this point, so I'm going to hold. I want to be just a little bit above the distance that we have to still make our stop. That's kind of ideal at this point. So now we're 20 above that. That's probably a good number to work with, because that way we can assume that we're coming into the station going at 20. Now we're about 25 above that number. Not anymore. Now we're 15 above it. So we are losing speed nicely at this point. I think we're going to be at around 23 when we get into the platform. There we are. So I'm going to ease off the brakes for a moment. And now I'm going to fully apply them again. Our advertising for car insurance over on the right. And arrival at Cholsey Platform 4. Leaving Cholsey, our next stop is Goring and Streatley. Welcome aboard train number 166215. Announcement.
Welcome on board this service. To avoid unnecessary security alerts, please do not leave luggage unattended on stations or on trains.
We are not responsible for your lost luggage if we destroy it. Somebody's going by. Great Western Express, 8:05 service. I'm going to assume that service started over at Bristol or somewhere like that, because that would be far away from where we are. So we are 3 miles from our next stop. Let's not to forget about that this time, like I almost forgot about the previous one. We'll keep a close eye on our HUD and make sure everything is going exactly as smoothly as it should be, and not any less. So this route is another one of those route requirements for the freeway route that I've been trying to get on the channel. This and the previous route that we drove, why have I suddenly forgot what route that was? I suddenly forgot what the previous route was that I drove. Why is that? I just did that earlier today as I'm recording this, and I've already forgotten. That is not good. Oh, Portsmouth Direct Line. So this and Portsmouth Direct Line are both requirements for the freeway route that I'm looking at. So I'm going to see if I can figure out any other payware routes I need to manage, and eventually I'm going to add that route to my game, and I'm going to see what scenarios are needed, or what trains are needed for the scenarios. So that's going to tell me if I have to go through any other trains before I move to that route. So we're going to try to get things ready for me to start driving scenarios on that route. But I already know that a lot of the custom scenarios that are made up for the route are going to have a lot of work needed, and I mean a lot of work. I'm going to have to install the Armstrong Powerhouse 37. I'm going to have to install some other enhancement packs here and there just to be able to drive some of the scenarios, because a lot of the stock in those scenarios needs to be changed. The MK2E coaches, they're going to have to change with the ones in the D to F pack. I have the MK1 coaches, fortunately, so I don't have to swap them. I have a 20... I'm stopping too early. I have a 2012 key, and that gave me the MK1 coaches, so I'm very, very fortunate that I was able to pick that up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have those coaches. But I did buy the new ones anyway, so I still have the newest coaches as well. So I'm set for both types of uses. going to have to swap the old Class 101 with the Weardale one, or maybe with a different one, depending what kind of scenario it is. We'll see what I feel like doing. Since it's a fictional route, I can do whatever I want to there, and anything will fit, because it is fictional. But if there's steam engines somewhere, I have to be worried about that as well. That was another train just going by there. I didn't bring it up in time for you. And I need to slam those brakes. I'm not coming in slow enough. We're there now. We're good. We are good. I thought that was 84. It's actually 64. Whoops. Anyway, a little less professional than you would expect, but arrival at Goring and Streatley, platform 4. Goring and Streatley. Our next stop is Tilehurst. Bringing up our stop information, we only have 2 stops remaining, Tilehurst and Reading. And at that point, we will be finished this service. We are now we're under 6 miles away from Tilehurst. There is an intermediate station we are going to get to skip today, so we're going to be able to get ourselves up a little closer to 100 miles per hour. We're really going to get to test that stop coming into Tilehurst. Another service over there on the fast line. It's always nice seeing the AI traffic in scenario. You're never the only one out on the route, so you have to see the AI traffic if you want to have any immersion of realism, even on these initial routes that were created for the game way back in 2006, 2007. You have to have that realism. I'm sure if this route were recreated today, it would look a lot different. I mean, the main layout would be the same, but of course there's going to be a lot of different build-up around the different routes. London to Brighton, for example, looks a lot different today than it does from 2013, for example. So if you were to redo it today, it would look a lot different. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing how it looks in Train Sim World 2, because I expect it'll be closer to the real-life setup as it is now, with new buildings along the route. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that looks. It would be interesting if someone tries to do a facelift of the actual route from Train Simulator, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because if that were to ever happen, someone's going to have to go, some poor sap's going to have to go and upgrade London Bridge Station while they're at it, because that station has had a facelift. Oh my, has it changed? All I can say. Blaze through here at 82 miles per hour. So Tilehurst is now 2 miles away. We're going 87 miles per hour in a 100 limit. We're still slowly gaining. I'm not sure if we can actually get up to 100. I see Tilehurst coming now, so I'm going to go ahead and idle the throttle because this is already going to be a good test of our braking power when we need to come to a stop. I'm going to wait until I'm about 0.8 of a mile out, and that's the point at which I'm going to start hitting the brakes. But I'm going to let the idle throttle do its job for the time being. We do have green aspects, so that is not a problem. So the next signal we can still go through if we had to, we just don't want to. There's the Great Western Link train coming along. And we're going to go ahead and start braking now. I want my speed to be above the speed we're coming into the station at, so, or the distance away from the station, rather. So I want my speed to be above the distance anyway. But this is coming a little low in the number here. I'm going to ease up. I'm going to straighten up the brakes a little more here and go a little harder on those brakes. We got a warning, by the way, for the 75 limit coming up. Yeah, maybe I should hit the brakes just a tad bit sooner there, because I am really coming in. But I think I'm going to make it down to 25 in time, so I should be okay for making the stop here. In fact, I'm down to 25 now. So, well, 26, close enough. So I can make the stop, and I'm going to go ahead and continue hitting the brakes now. I didn't want to do 100%, but you know what? Happens. This is a small platform, so we are going to fit inside the platform, thankfully. And doors are open here at Tilehurst, platform 4. That's all your intermediate stops completed. You're now approaching Reading Station for the final stop. We just got our guard's buzzer. We're clear to go. Reading platform 9 is where we're going to go this time. Announcement.
Welcome on board this service. When the audible warning sounds, please stand clear of the doors as they are about to close.
Thank you for giving us this warning after everyone's on the train. Much appreciated. If you did not heed this warning, you're probably dead now. Sorry about that. Another train coming by? So I've gone ahead and dialed the throttle at 55. Even though we're in a 75, there is a 50 coming up, so I thought, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and keep it. Typically we're supposed to go ahead and continue speeding up until we need to slow down, but there's no problem with doing it this way too if you want to be safer, if there's some reason to be safer. And for me, there's always a reason to be safer. So there's reading platform 9. It is not a terminal platform. You can continue beyond, but we are going to be stopping and finishing there. So it's possible we could be handing this train over to another driver to continue the service. Warning of the 50 that we just met. I'm going to drop the speed a little more because I don't know if we have any junction speed limits or anything. But just in case we do, let's make sure we meet them, shall we? We didn't follow that junction. There's Reading 9 coming up. Another drive on the Reading Railroad. There's that train we heard earlier, I think. Or was it? Oh, that train went by. Never mind. That was one going by. So we're cruising in a little slower than we normally would. Our passengers may not like this, but you know what? That's what I think. I'll speed up for their sake. I see no junctions yet, so I will speed up for their sake. But I reserve the right to slow down for a junction. Now we're going to slow down. Doesn't look like we're being junctioned off in either direction here. The other line has a yellow, so we're not going to be going onto that track at all. We can read that cleanly. We're not taking that path. The other line has a yellow coming in our direction. So I think we're staying straight. I think 9 is straight ahead. And there's 7 right there where it goes into the terminal area. So yeah, we're staying on 9 over here. You see 7, 2 tracks over to the right. Another train over there on the far right of the station. We're going to go ahead and continue up to the building. Somebody just arrived. Here's the building, and this is where we're going to stop, right here. And this constitutes arrival at Reading. So let's go ahead and take a look at our train, and we're going to wrap up another scenario. There we are. Passengers are leaving our train, number 166215. A train leaving over on the left. You can see it going by our cab. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed what you saw here today. That's a Class 43, by the way, I believe, over there. High-speed train. So make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this. You can directly support my work on Patreon if that is something you are capable of and wish to do. There's another high-speed train going by. Busy station here at Reading today. You can also join my Discord server. Scenario complete successfully. Other than that, we're all done for right now. So I hope you enjoyed this drive today. We're going to have one more drive in this train for now before we look up other custom scenarios using it or better versions of this train, which is more likely. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is at your part of the world. And I will see you next time for, I believe the next 166 drive is from Slough to London, back to Slough. That is going to be interesting. Or Slough might be how you say it. I should look that up before I start that scenario. In any case, I will see you next time for that, as that's probably when I'm going to be driving. So have a wonderful day, evening, or night. See you next time. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.